Sheffield United 1, Bristol City 0. The Blades 8 points clear of third-placed Luton. They had to work hard for it. And it was the super sub this time, James McAtee, with the all-important goal. Mark Duffy and Carl Asaba have been on duty tonight. You can breathe now, you can relax, Carl, but that was hard going at times.
It was tough. We knew Bristol are a tricky team to play. They played really well, and we didn't really get going first half. Second half, there was more energy. But it still wasn't vintage, but the boys found the way. Yet again, they found the way.
It's amazing how one substitution can suddenly open the game up, but it did, didn't it?
Yeah, and we talked about obviously McAtee's qualities, you know, before the game and at half time, and he just finds those pockets of space and he attracts players to him because of his quality. But when he is in those tight spaces, he can manipulate the ball and just drink past people, and once he gets past them, it opens spaces up. And obviously when he gets in those scoring areas, he has that quality to finish.
Yeah, as soon as he came on the pitch, he gets the ball, he's driving at people. It's
Running
infectious, isn't it? But it's infectious.
It does, and it opens up space. It opens up space for other players, and there's more option. You know, and we feel bad now because we're saying, oh, it looks like it's Flecky. It wasn't just Flecky. It wasn't his fault. It was the way that we went about the first half. But McAtee did. He sparked us to life, and then you get Berge driving through, and you got Doyle, McAtee, and Sanderbo playing triangles and getting people, and it looked good at times.
4 in 6 now for McAtee. He's at the peak of his powers at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. And when you sort of find that form and the rhythm, and he just looks like he's really enjoying it every time he steps out there. I think obviously when we first seen him play in the Luton game and stuff like that, he looked to struggle physically and with the tempo. Obviously he's grown into the role and really found his feet, and he's just a superb player. It's just the composure and quality that he's got is, I think for me, just sets him he's just different, isn't he?
Well, you expect now when he gets into those areas, when the ball leaves his foot, you're looking at the net, you're waiting for some, because you have the belief in him. And that finish again, I know we'll probably show it in a minute, but wow. You know, he's whipped it across the face of the keeper.
But the instep, that seems to be his favourite finish, doesn't it? Absolutely. Just stroking the ball and caressing it in. And that's great composure from a young player who's relatively still inexperienced.
Obviously he has that quality, that's why he's at Manchester City. But obviously different players have different finishes, and his go-to finish is that where he just takes a touch and he just passes it into the net. And all great finishers will say, oh yeah, just pass it into the net and make it sound that easy, but obviously we know it's not that easy.
Well, let's get some reaction now from one of those who's heavily involved tonight, Berge. Sander, many congrats, but at times that was hard going tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was tough for long periods. I mean, we struggled in the first half to get going with the ball. When we come home, we should always be braver, you know. It ended up in it was only just throw-ins and second balls, and I mean, we just played into their way instead of taking it down, creating chances, because a few couple of times we played 4, 5, 6 passes, we got into their box, and then that's how we have to do it at Bramall Lane. Like, we have to get going, be brave, everyone takes the ball, and, you know, be positive. But we struggled a little bit there because we just kept on playing into them. But then in the second half, we obviously went down to 2, so we got more options through the middle, ended up playing more and a little bit more composed, and won probably a little bit more second balls, and then gradually a little bit more pressure, and then a big goal, obviously. Great pass by Ali and finish from Mecca, and then when we come up, we're always good in terms of holding on to the lead, and we created some big ones in them. But all in all, just a massive win for us, and every game is tough in the championship. You know, they didn't have much to play for, you know, and that makes it almost a little bit awkward sometimes, because we have everything to lose and at the same time everything to win. So you just have to find yourself. But yeah, we should have been better for parts, but this is what matters, to win, so we're happy with that.
How tough was it for you and John in particular in the first half? Because it looked like you were being man-marked for the first 45 minutes, which meant it was difficult for you to receive the ball, turn and do something with it, and that in turn creates other problems, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit awkward sometimes when you go up, and obviously in the champ where people mark just the man instead of marking the space, you know, so it's like wherever you run, he runs with you, so it's sort of like you're a little bit, the higher up on the pitch, you're more relied on the ball that we play out from the back, you know. But obviously, like lately, we've gone down to, I mean, me and Tommy play a lot in the 2, and we've gone up with Mecca and Illiman as 10s, and it's almost like the team drops off more when we play 2 central, and that's what happened when we we change that, and then we suddenly get more passes and we become a little bit more dominant and we play more in their half. But yeah, it's always a little bit awkward when you find yourself man-marked, and especially when we play 5 at the back, so we don't have wingers up there, so it's easy for them to pin us in sometimes. So then, we should get on the ball better and have better movements. But yeah, this time of the year, the 3 points is the big thing, and I think every game has a different outcome. But I think we have shown that we can win games in many different ways, and that's key to being successful.
James McAtee, match winner again.
Yeah.
As a teammate, how much do you appreciate what he's bringing to the party at the moment? I think he's got 4 in his last 6 matches now. Top quality, isn't he?
Yeah, huge. He's very calm and composed. I always say to him, be brave. And he's good. I try to tell him when to keep possession, because sometimes that's needed in the championship, because people tend to play in the chaos, but then you don't find the difference between who's doing the better, because it's easy to get rushed into the environment of every time trying to score, and then it's just a game of this. But as soon as you take a step back, and Tommy and him, young, brought through the academy, you can see they know how to read a game, when to go for it and when to hold it, and that's a massive difference in this league, rather than just try to score every time and they try to score every time, because then it ends up being 50-50. So when we suddenly get momentum and playing in football, that's when you see their ability, to find the extra right pass all the time and the right finish. So yeah, brilliant by McAtee, and he has that touch and quality when he comes into the box, and that's brilliant for us. And as everyone everyone has contributed with goals and assists this year, and I think that makes us very strong. We don't rely on one specific player all the time.
8 points clear now. That looks great, doesn't
Yeah.
it? When you look at the league table, even though Luton have still got to play, they play tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's a healthy advantage with a handful of games, if that left.
Yeah, it's great, obviously, to be 8 points clear, and especially when we had that spell or that period when Middlesbrough and Luton both beat us here, and the pressure rised a little bit, and I don't know, was it down to 4 points? So that's obviously huge for us to show quality, and we've managed to get back on it and keep winning games under even more pressure. So yeah, huge from the whole team.
And now you've got a date with not just Wembley, but your old pal,
Yeah,
Erling Haaland.
my good old friend. Yeah.
Have you been in touch with him this week? Will you be talking to him in the build-up to that game, or is it
I speak with him every day. He's been over to Sheffield a couple of times, and I went over to see the Bayern Munich game last week, and I stayed over at his house. So yeah, it was obviously incredible to watch that game, and
Can you not just stick a leg out and trip him up
I
on
was
the way
keen.
to
I
the
said
kitchen?
I might poison your drink tonight later or something, but it's difficult to do with him. But yeah, he's ready. He's a fun guy to catch up with. But yeah, even better so to play against him. I've been up against him before, and that hasn't gone so well in the Champions League. So hopefully doing this time.
It's a great one to look forward to, isn't it? It's a game you can enjoy, and the fans will be there in numbers as well. And for you, playing at Wembley.
Yeah, dream coming true. Obviously, everyone wants to go out on that stage, and we know they're probably the best team in the world, and can't ask for a better occasion. Family and friends will be there. It's a big opportunity to show yourself, and when you come up against a team like that, it's all about enjoying it and making the most out of the moment. And we'll make it a tough game for them. I remember when we played them in the Prem. We lost with a goal every time. I don't say we have to keep on to that, but it's anyone who play, we have to show respect, but at the same time be ourselves, and we've shown before what we can do.
Enjoy the week, enjoy
Thanks,
the build-up,
appreciate it.
and enjoy Wembley when
Thank
it
you.
comes round. It's an amazing place. You'll love it.
Yeah,
Sure
I can
you will.
imagine. Looking forward to it.
Well done tonight.
Thank you,
Congrats.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sander Berge's reaction to a 1-0 win here at Bramall Lane over Bristol City. I have to say, how good is he at analysing a game?
Incredible. He analyses it better while he was playing in it. We were watching it and I couldn't give an analyst that. Brilliant.
Yeah, doesn't he speak well? And what a presence he's been out on the field for the majority of this season, but such a measured way in which he talks about the game as well.
Yeah, definitely, and it just shows his football intelligence, really, because we were just sort of speaking then, there is different ways of football, and what he sees is the chaos, but he doesn't want to play in the chaos, and he doesn't want players to play in that chaos.
I lived in the chaos. I was about to walk out the door as he's saying that.
Yeah, but,
He got a number of properties in the chaos, Carl.
but that I totally get what he means. The Championship can feel like that because it's frantic and it's end to end, and some teams want you to play the way they want to play, but because we have so many technical players, we need to slow the game down at times, but then once we move it around the pitch, then we speed it up, but it's got to be on our terms, and that's what he was trying to say. Well, that's what he said.
He did say off air as well that he'd watched Mark's goal at Hillsborough many times. Didn't mention any of yours, Carl.
Oh, different
You
era.
scored at Hillsborough.
Different era. He didn't. No, I may have scored the era, but no, everyone. And the way you referred to it as the Duffy role, how brilliant is that? Sanderberg saying, "Yeah, I was in the Duffy role." Brilliant.
And now we can talk about Wembley. You know, the league part of the stuff is done for now. We can park that, and we can look ahead to what's going to be a great day out. And should it be treated as that or not?
Well, the fans can treat it as a day out. The players, they're treating it. There's a game to win. There's 11 players to knock down, and as he said, he's excited to play at Wembley. He's an international player. He's played in the Champions League. He's going to Wembley, and he's not going to want to just be there. And he wants to now go and make a marker, and it's exciting now.
That's it. And you don't want to go there and let anyone down. You've got loads of friends and family coming down, and I'm not that going to let anybody down, but like Man City are an unbelievable team, and you just got to make it difficult, like he spoke about. The two previous games that they played against them, they have been tight games, although Man City have the ball. Sometimes you've got to bank in and make it really tough for them, and you just never know. Anyone can win.
And as you said, when we played Arsenal, they were one of the best team, well, if not the best team in the land, and we took them to live in the chaos. That's what you've got to do, and we didn't stop running at Old Trafford against them, and we made it difficult, and they've got to find their way to unsettle the best team in the world.
There's just one individual though that sleeps off the pitch.
He's had his chance, hasn't he? He's just said he's
just ridiculously good.
He could have done anything.
He's just ridiculously good. I'm not even sure he's human. He's just
he is just a machine.
Different level,
He's just a goal machine, isn't he? He's just I've never seen a striker like him.
They're going to get to play against the best striker in the world at the moment. That's what more can you ask? You've got
the West.
Yeah, I'm up here.
No, it's one to look forward to, and we will talk more in depth about the Wembley game this Friday, 7:30. So be with us for that. A very special preview show with some very special guests as well. So be with us for that. Just to look ahead as to what we've got coming your way. 6 games there, 1 down, so that's 5 to go. 2 home games. They're going to be the key ones, really, I think. West Brom and Preston North End. Win those 2 games, and the job's done, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a big game, the West Brom game. They've won again tonight. They're on. They're now going into the playoffs. It's going to be a huge occasion, and that will probably suit us better because, as Sander said there, Bristol City had nothing on the game, and there's no jeopardy. Whereas every pass that we played, we know if you mess it up, we've got so much to lose.
Yeah, it's the pressure, isn't it? It just builds as the championship goes on, and then obviously Preston, they've been doing really well as well.
Fellas, thanks for your company. Mark, good to see you. Carl, get your suits out ready for Wembley.
Beautiful. Yep.
Top stuff. Thank you, chaps. So, Sheffield United, 8 points clear of Luton in the Championship, and now it's all about Wembley. Be with us Friday night, 7:30 for the big preview. Until then, from all of us here, it's goodbye.